Hello everyone, I hope you've been well and welcome back. Thought I would pop on today and share with you some ideas that I have for a upcoming medieval fair that's happening near me. Never actually been to one before, so I'm pretty excited for it. And I've been kind of umming and ahhing what I could wear because I obviously have a large selection available. But I'm pretty certain I'm going to do a Ciri look from The Witcher. I'm a big Witcher fan and Ciri is one of my favourite characters. I have done very many different costumes of hers from the game, inspired by the TV show and just some of my own looks as well. I made one of her, I guess, alternative outfits from Wild Hunt. So I think what I'll do is I'll get kind of the base pieces of that, just some of them I really like, and then kind of mix and match a few things to maybe make it look a bit more medieval and Viking-esque. So I thought I would bring you along and we can have a bit of a look, and then there'll be a little bit of footage at the end of the fair itself. Now I do have slightly darker makeup on than usual. I just finished taking some Padme photos, which as a side note was a bit of a risk because I just took them kind of around my backyard and around the house, but it's been raining pretty much non-stop and I did her lovely white outfit. And yeah, it was playing with fire. I think I managed to avoid getting it somewhat muddy. While we're here, I thought I'd just show you that this is how I kind of store all of my costumes. I do have some drawers in my room along here where I keep ones that I want to access a bit more easier, or if I have extra photo shoot plans. So this is just one of those clear containers. You can get them from most stores. You kind of want it to be as, I guess airtight as possible. I store these guys outside, so they do need to be somewhat protected from the weather. They are undercover, but it's mostly for dust and whatnot. So basically I have a couple of these guys, a mixture of kind of, sewn costumes as well as armor. And then I have a little handy list here, which just has all of the different costumes that are stored inside of here. I've certainly reached the point where having to dig through all of them to find something specific would be very annoying, so this is just kind of a nice easy list so I can kind of access them when I need to. If I can also reuse some of the pieces if I kind of will either hand off, or if it's, it's okay to kind of tear it apart, I'll just reuse the fabric for other projects, and then just keep some of the accessories around, especially because I really love kind of creating original looks. It's really great being able to just reuse things, sometimes just like a different coat of paint or adding something extra really makes it kind of change into something new. And you can kind of see here that I've got a bit of a mixture of some costumes in plastic bags with just a little title on them so I know what they are. And then I've also got some of the kind of different props just in bubble wrap that's been left over from packages or whatever, as well as some wigs that I don't necessarily use or are very specific to a costume. So I've pulled out some of my different parts from my Ciri costume. I'd really love to use these again. I think they're really lovely, and I especially kind of love the brown and the gold. Her costume has a lot of kind of red elements, which I'm kind of thinking about maybe going for more of a cooler tone, kind of top and vibe as well. I've got this little kind of fluffy cowl here, which I think is such an essential for medieval or kind of Viking looks. I think probably my next step is to just try a bunch of things on and see how we go. This was the first outfit I tested. I played around with some of those pieces. I then tried adding a little bit more of the red pieces from that same costume, but I don't know, it just quite wasn't what I was looking for, so I ended up ditching most of this stuff. I ended up grabbing a few of my generic pieces and put this together, and I ended up really feeling it. So this is trickier than I thought it would be. I think it's because originally I wanted to wear the more kind of elaborate version of Ciri I had, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. I'm going with a friend who is going as Geralt, and he's got more of the cool toned clothing from the TV show, and it kind of makes me want to match that a little bit. As you saw, I tried on a few different bits and pieces, but I don't know, nothing quite felt right and I couldn't quite match it. It's this weird balance between being comfortable, being warm because it's still very cold, and then feeling really cool or badass or whatever I'm going for. I'm gonna go see if I can hunt down a few more items and kind of accessorize the heck out of it, because right now it's very plain. I ended up having a bit of a scroll through Pinterest as well. This is such a good tip just to get a bit of a vibe, see if there's any pieces that I can also pull from other artists. After grabbing a few of my other Ciri pieces and just kind of general fantasy accessories, I think this is definitely the route I would go down. Okay, I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want. One of the main things I wanted to make sure is I didn't want to make too many new things for this costume, just because I have so many other projects in the works right now. Kind of thinking I might make like a gauntlet type thing. I don't know, I think once I really accessorize with a lot of like silver jewelry and throw in a few more silver elements, I think it'll come together nicely. So I'll stop here now and I'll see you in a moment, which will be at the fair. Goodbye. The medieval fair was in a smaller town about an hour and a half from where I am. The really lovely thing about it being in winter is that everything was so beautiful and green. We got a lot of really great sightseeing in the way there and on the way back as well. My party and I rented a small Airbnb and it was the cutest place. It definitely suited our medieval vibe we were going for that weekend. It was really spacious and just really lovely to just get away from such a busy city life that I usually live, and just come and live my medieval dreams out here. We ended up having a small fire outside during one of the cooler nights and roasted marshmallows and just talked D&D. And then after the fair we also did play a session of our usual D&D game, and it was just so much fun. This was my completed Ciri outfit and I really love how it turned out. I added a couple more leather accessories and it was just such a comfortable wear as well for the weekend. Considering this was my first medieval fair, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Gosh, it was so much fun though, and I'm so excited to go back. I think it was just such a good mix of lots of vendors with really interesting wares and trinkets and homemade things. But also I loved watching all of the sword fighting, and they had a little bit of jousting and just really fantastic medieval vibes. I just loved the community there so much. Few of my group members dressed up as well, which was just the most wholesome thing, being able to share that with them, especially because I'd been cosplaying for so long. It was just fun to share some of those tips with them and just have a bit of fun, I don't know, letting our inner child out and just enjoying the weekend. I think my favourite part was definitely how they had these little sections set up that really played into that medieval setting. You know, they had fires and these tents built up and, you know, people weaving and smithing and just doing all these really stunning, I guess, old style things, and just being able to kind of experience that and watch them do it. I don't know, it was almost like watching a mini performance, and I just really loved it. It was such a pleasure, and I can't wait to do this again and get some more costumes nice and ready for it as well. Until next time, bye!